Every Monday.
Bboxradio.com. This is the Blocks. What's up, world?
Her voice in the background.
Sounds so beautifully, don't you?
This is DJ Foreplay.
Ray Love.
Brother Son.
Monday Blue.
Aunt Marshall.
Isis Kenny.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway, again, if you're just now tuning in, 20 years. 20 or 25? 20 years.
I'm not that old.
Are
you?
20 years. WUTANG, first album, classic, redefined a genre, redefined hip-hop at that time or whatnot. Probably the first successful crew, like mega crew, you know what I mean, to come in and just like smash up the industry and whatnot. This was some grimy beats, sound like they were made inside of like the project basement, but still not like crazy. And you know,
and they probably were.
Probably,
more than like that. Really was.
And I wanted to end my set with just playing some of the original soul tracks that RZA sampled and got his motivation and innovation from, whatever. So
give RZA his props.
That was kind of the secret. I mean, before we used the 70s to join.
It's funny. My son is now getting into beat making, right? And he's good with it, right? Because he's like, he has a natural like I would do for music or whatever. So but he's been like making these. He's been using like synthetic, like the parts and the components and whatnot put together. I'm like, he's like, how's it sound? It's like, it technically it sounds wonderful, but it sounds mechanical and dead. It lacks soul. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I was trying to explain to him like the beauty and randomness, right? Like machines are very perfect, right? And there's beauty in that, but there's also like a randomness that comes from like organic things or whatnot that's hard to recreate or whatnot. It's like undulations, and even like when we did studio music or whatnot, it was never perfect. It was never completely perfect on beat. And as a DJ, trying to match up with some of that stuff, like good luck. But it was beautiful because it spoke to like the human part, even the soul of you. So I was trying to teach him like, make your beats, make your little techno electronic beats or whatever. Put your bass to it, like go back, sample some old soul, take some human voices in there, put it in there, mix it up, chop it up, whatever. Make people feel like they listen to human beings. Make people feel like they got soul, and that's what RZA did. You know what I mean? And that's what Kanye does. That's what people think about all the greats. That's what they do. They get a little piece of the old school, some of that soul, and just make it hot. You know what I mean? I'll stop talking.
That's hard though. That's hard.
Let's get to this question.
Yeah. So again, if you're tuning in, we got Isis in the house. She is a Renaissance artist in the sense that she does everything that has to do with artistic expression. That's visual art in the form of collage. She's an artist. She's an actress. She does music. You name it. She's she got her hand in 360. So we were talking about how important art is to hip hop and to the community and to black folks and urban folks and whatever. And then we were like, damn, well, if we use art to get an idea about a people, during a specific time and place, what are people going to think about us based on our art? And how they going to say, man, these cats was like X, or they were like Y. And so, anybody jump in and let me know what you think. I don't know. It's kind of discouraging.
I mean, I think that it really depends on the sum of what our culture looks like, unfortunately at the point where it's kind of no longer around. I would love to sit here and think that hip-hop will be here forever, but like a lot of other, genres, things that people have moved on. So I think it's about the sum. If we leave it where it is now, which has been a big chunk of, or if it continues the way it has been, then that collage of what hip-hop looks like is going to be very negative, and it's going to have a lot of stripper poles, and a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. I mean, it's no longer hip hop; it's kind of stripper music.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the music and the visuals is clearly a representation of where we are right now as a people, and unfortunately, where we are is not really in a good place. So yeah, I think that just piggyback on what Nate said. And if you were to look in hindsight as to where we are now, because we have that represent us, it's not impossible, and it's also not positive because we don't know it. So I mean, it's very difficult to have positive images of us when it's not coming from us. So
and it's interesting. I mean, just touch on that for a second. I was in Chicago this weekend with some dope ass blacks, both love hip hop, urban, but smart. And this one dude is the head of strategy for like one of the biggest ad agencies in Chicago and whatnot. But he's a dude. He's a black dude. You know, he's straight up Jamaican, cooking oxtails and whatnot, and listening to hip hop, whatever. So, where's that image? Like the, you know what I mean? Like the I verse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You was gonna say something?
Yeah, on Friday I went to the new school to hear a talk. It was Bell Hooks, such a Bell Hooks, and Melissa Harris Perry, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was
online.
good. So at one point they were talking like Bell Hooks, you know, does writing, she's academic. Melissa Harris Perry has a television show, and so you know they were talking about what is going to be. Bell Hooks was talking about what is going to be her legacy, what is going to be her impact, and she's talking about how she's hesitant to digitize her catalog and put it online. She said because if somebody could press delete, then it could all be gone. Whereas, and then she also talked about Melissa Harris Perry, how, you know, Melissa Harris Perry was talking about basically how she's going to have a show as long as she's like, basically she said the white dudes, you know, in the suite upstairs at MSNBC want me to have a show because they're counting dollars. And so I think it's always hard because when you start involving commerce in your art, it gets complicated. Like, you know, people want to make money from their art, but then I guess it becomes a point of like how much money is enough. And so right now I think that we have gone out of balance in hip hop culture and all the different culture that's sprung from that. It's kind of like the pendulum's gone far to the way where it's all about commerce and very little art. Like we're here tonight talking about albums that 20 years later are just still, they're classics. They're classics. And I don't know, I feel like we talk about this every other week.
We do.
You know, but it's obviously a pressing issue. We still haven't figured it out. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think what Bell Hooks said is she's like, you know, I don't have the same platform you do. She's like, but you know what? She's like, Shirley Chisholm, you know, she said that if you live your life in a certain kind of way, you're going to have certain kind of principles, your payoffs or your rewards are going to be different than someone who chooses to go more mainstream and to put more commerce in their art. So,
yeah. See, that's what the divide is. I mean, underground artists like Immortal Technique, you know, a few others out there, Sean Price and everything, they got good artwork, they got good visuals and stuff like that. But just because it's not seen all over the place, you know, I guess that's where they say, well, the mainstream thing is what's really popular right now, and that's where the art is lacking. But there's other places where the art is thriving.
Right.
That really needs to be promoted more.
Yeah.
That's true. And that's the thing also, like I don't know what's going on with the community, just, you know, thinking about preserving one's legacy, you know,
Right.
just piggybacking what you were saying Monday. I mean, my brother, like it is, Gil Noble. The archives is something that you have to really search for, and something, it's unfortunately, if you don't preserve your own, there is no one else that's going to do it for you. Unfortunately, your children might not even do it for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you really have to take the time to really be able to tell your story and make sure that's going to be, you know, told in a way in which it needs to be told. You have to own it. You got to own up, man up.
That's right.
You know, and that's not what's going on in our communities. We don't pass the baton down. I don't know what's up. You know, so I mean,
we don't tell the stories no more.
No, we don't. Yeah. We don't tell our own stories. And if that ain't crazy, I don't know what is.
It's ill because you know, I came up in Brooklyn and you know, very heavy in like the African centered community and whatnot. I was very big in I was a big proponent of like the Kemetic, you know, crew and whatnot. And one of the elders in that community passed recently. You know, brother named Grandmaster Cam or whatnot. Dope brother. Unfortunately passed away, I think because of cancer. But this dude was like 12th degree black belt, spiritual priest. Led a meditation center in the middle of it. Like this, I mean, and like at his funeral, people, you know, I always have this fear that when I die, I'm not going to be relevant enough for people to come up and say shit. That's crazy Scorpio shit, whatever. But
Yeah, it's Scorpio.
but this dude, like, he couldn't push people away. Like, there was just droves of people coming up there crying, just talking about how he helped them do this and that. Like, those are some dope stories that you don't hear about these dudes. Like, these are some dope dudes who like sacrificed their life and their whatever just like help the community and like put their families on the line sometimes just to make sure that the bigger families are like. I want to hear them. I want to hear cats rap about that. I want to see paintings about that. I want to see that shit on like Channel 7 News or whatever. I want to hear Oprah talk about them dudes and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I want those stories to be told through our art.
You know, and you know, just to again add on to what you're saying. I mean, again, that's what interests me about her project. You know, what's the website?
hiphopfineart.com.
Right. So the young lady has hiphopfineart.com. I think Hot 97 was trying to do something similar. She owns the trademark. She shut that down. She's really about her shit. And the beauty, again, you know, is that we live in a time where our art is disposable. Mm-hmm. And how do we get to a point where the art we create is considered fine art? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the real question. What are we going to create that has that type of value? Right. If a song costs $1 and you don't even want to pay $1, then what part of our culture has worth?
Well,
bro.
Can I just piggyback off of that? Black people we got short attention spans, okay, and we have a tendency. I don't know what we have a tendency to, forget very quickly. So just we definitely need to recognize the fact that there's certain things that we have to do as a people to be able to preserve our own, to be able to tell our own, and we have to recognize that it's important. You can't do something that, you can't expect people to do things and they don't know it's important. And a lot of times, people don't think it's important to be able to tell their own stories, whatever story that it may be. They want to hear 12 years a slave. And and the butlers and the bachelors and I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And so because of that, that's the reason why I think it's important to be able to have positive. If we don't have programming, can we have art? Okay, if we don't have a radio that really caters towards the people, letting them know about where and when they need to be and what's going on, can we have art? It's just, fine art has not been in our reach, and it is in our reach because we constantly create it without even recognizing it as fine art. And I just think that,
wait,
go ahead.
We do have Love and Hip Hop.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Shout out to Love and Hip Hop.
Right now.
That's a collage, all right.
I think a big problem is how we communicate with each other these days.
Yeah, of course.
We're all in our phones. We're all in our laptops. I think if you log off for a week, you'll start to get into yourself more. And then you'll start to search for things that feed you.
Guru, right?
Instead of, because think about it, when you're on your phone, when you're on all these electronic devices, things are coming at you from every angle. Yeah. And when do you get time to just
absorb the video around you?
You never get that time. So now, when you're sitting around and that stuff is not around you, then you get into yourself, say, oh, you need to put something on that wall right there. Yeah. Something that defines who I am. Because when I was a kid, LL was on the wall. Because I related in some way to him. But I'm just saying, you
not Warren Buffett?
Listen, in the crib, moms had Martin and Malcolm on the wall. And that's all we had. And Jesus.
And
white Jesus.
Right. Playing poker and whatnot. This is the block.
White Jesus all day, right?
Shout out to white Jesus, shout out to white people, period. This is the block. Every Monday, 7:30 to 9:30. Bboxradio.com. Check out those archives. Tune in for some Audible art. We archiving our shit right now. So anyway, Monday.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yay. Okay. Ready? And